Please. Let us respect young boy.
Yes, we're back here. We had a little break for the rain.
Cool the evening down, Dottin. Cooling it down a bit. A few drizzles.
The ball
We
was
see
good.
they have a controversy here with a point
So
here.
we have to pull.
Yes, it's one of the unfortunate things that you find around this Roadtennis arena. Some calls by linespersons continue to
Jim.
agitate players.
They're ready to resume the
But
game.
hey,
How can we remedy this situation? How can we remedy something like this?
Let's resume the
but
game.
Take cameras will have a
absolutely. But trained persons, Dottin, is very important. Putting a linesman on a line doesn't mean he's trained. You have to train people the techniques and how to look for and what to look for in terms of a linesman. I'm not sure if that's happening, but if it is, great. It needs to be improved on. But if you're a lines person, you need to make sure that they're properly trained up because it's creating too much pressure on players. Too much pressure.
Yeah, we need to have a structure in place. Initially this tournament maybe start off maybe like as a gap tournament, right? But players and spectators are expecting a lot where tournaments are concerned in terms of standard being lifted.
Of course, but you're playing for big money,
You're playing for money.
And whenever you find money and big prizes, the bigger the prize, the more expectation and players and spectators still want to see the very best, And that's what organizers need to do. Try to make sure that the package that they're putting together is the best possible package, including linesmen.
First, I would like to apologize to the viewers of this video for the poor quality, but in the future we'll be working on this, right? But I think you should at least enjoy the voices of Mr. John Wick and Mr. Terry Dottin, the puncher, giving you an in-depth analysis of this game. I don't see Dr. Sebi around. But he usually comes around at the finals, but where is Dr.
11-7 to
Sebi
13.
in all of this?
Scott is fighting back here. He's staying close. 11-13. That was a good serve down the middle. And St. George again covering the center court. These both players seem to have a center court game plan on. As much as possible, they're not really opening the angles, but trying to keep the ball more in the center of the court, you see? Center court tennis. St. George was able to get the better of him on that occasion. But both players seem to be more focusing on, as you would put it in Roadtennis, on the green.
On the green.
Green monkey approach.
Yes.
Keeping it on the green, keeping it center, and playing safe.
14-7
We'll see if that continues, how far it goes into the game. But St. George, 14-11. He needs at least 3 of these points, definitely this service game. Clever serve, that's a good corner serve. And again, good ball control by St. George. Beautiful shot there, but that's a big shot by St. George. That's a beautiful shot.
St. George is really
beautiful shot by St. George.
And he seems to want this championship.
Oh yeah, he's moving. He's moving very well on the court, getting behind the ball well. Yeah, he looks like a man with a plan.
Yes.
Center serve. On that
He's
occasion,
taking his time.
16-7 to 11.
He's showing a lot of maturity, patience. He's not rushing. He's not in a hurry.
no,
He has a job to do, and he's doing his job
16,
very well.
again, you're seeing St. George with a variety of serves, and now center court. Good ball control by St. George again. Ball movement, cross court, back onto form. And St. George just patient tennis. Hard fight.
But that was a very
But
good exchange between these two individuals.
Yes.
St. George seemed to be in control, but he went for that gallery shot. He went for the gallery shot, but
it was the right shot. Touched the top of the net, and hey,
16-12.
but good fight, good ball control. Center serve again. Center serve. But St. George inside out again. Inside out. Yeah, he's doing this inside out form to back arm. But he also needs to be mindful of the fact that you got to change the rhythm.
not only that, you see when you go for those angles, you have less court and you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
I think St. George should try to search for the largest part of the court, which is the center of the court.
Well, he heard you. He just served the last ball down the middle. Again, a good rally to the form.
it's close. I'm kind of impressed with Adrian Scott. He seemed to be
Watch your
through this
language.
tournament. You know, he seemed to be a bit
13 serving to 17.
timid, and for the quality of player that he is.
13 serving to 18. Oh, 14 serving to 17.
That's a
Please let me hear the out. 14 to 17.
Watch yourself, you're put it on, George, right.
well. Scott seemed to be focusing a lot on George's backhand. He's serving the ball really nice. It's a serve that's cutting away from St. George, forcing St. George now to try to find some kind of replay.
Ball is good. Ball is very good. 16, 17.
Yeah, closing the gap.
Yeah,
but the good thing about this serve, Dottin, you see he's slicing the ball away.
Yeah, he's
forcing
putting a little chop spinning it, spinning it.
So it's backhand to backhand now. Good exchange. Ball called out.
Ball is called out.
16, 7 to 18. Just a little 18.
16, 18.
Sixteen, 7 to 18.
16, 18, the 2-point.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a big point. This is going to be decided here now. Good, well done by St. George. He did very well, but again with a very good serve.
Yes.
I think it was an easy shot that Scott really should not have spoiled at all. That's a big point to lose that. So George up 19-16. Back to the
Both
back
players
arm.
seem to be playing each other's back arm.
Yeah, back arm.
Turn it, George. Turn it, George.
St. George seemed to be very focused in that back arm.
20,
I think that what beat Scott on that one is the weight off.
Right, exactly.
That last shot from St. George with less pace.
Yes.
And I think that Scott committed a bit early and spoiled in the process. Again, St. George
is
staying on the back arm.
living in that back arm.
20, 17.
It's not over.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
over. The game is still open. 2017, a beautiful serve.
Yeah,
a
that's
surprise
a good
serve.
cross-court serve.
But Adrian was ready for it.
Yeah, good drop shot there.
Oh, very good.
Beautiful drop shot by Scott.
Ball was good.
Beautiful drop shot there by Scott.
Yes.
20, 18.
He's a very agile player. He's a tall guy and he uses his height very well. George again.
20, 19.
2019,
I
boy.
think that Scott has just found a soft spot in George.
20,
Those drop shots
19.
are looking very effective indeed. Roadtennis, the injection, Dottin, the injection seemed to be working.
Game point again to Sydney.
Good serve, George. Man, back here. Oh, lovely.
Oh, beautiful
my goodness.
finish. Oh, that's
St.
a
George
wonderful
have
finish
won
by
that
St.
game.
George. That's a St. George special.
St. George finish.
Yeah.
Very clinical finish. Ball good. We're going to show here.
That-
Ball good. Ball is great.
That's a really good finish there by St. George. I would like to believe that his opponent would have realized there's something in the short balls and use that coming into the second game if you're going to push for a third.
But you think that was a convincing win by St. George? I'm looking at
Okay.
the score lines,
Game
21-19.
Going to Anderson City.
Yeah, 21-19.
21-19.
Somewhat compared, he almost gave it away in the end. Those drop shots seem to be troubling St. George.
We're going to come around a bit. Body dot.
Be ready for
You want
game
to
two.
come back?
Love, serving love.
So we're into the second game.
It's in the game, yeah. You have Adrian Scott in the black and St. George
Oh, yes, that's
is
the
in the
easy
yellow.
one.
Ball is away.
St. George is further away from us.
Love, serving
And Scott
love.
is right here in the shot, in the video shot. Center court served by St. George.
Yeah, he's been serving those all night.
1 all.
Serving them all night. But I'm not sure how familiar you are with St. George's style of play. But tonight, you actually seen a St. George who's trying to stay in the game, pushing the ball more center court.
Okay.
But St. George has the ability to cut the court really well. You might very well see break angles. Oh, yes, he's very good at that.
1 serving to 2.
I think that into the second game, you might very well see a more confident St. George and see a bit more of that kind of style of play. cutting the court. He plays the ball at angles well. Both players.
Oh, St. George, the showman he
fighting
is.
to the end. Fighting to the end. Fighting to the
The
end.
showman he is.
Fighting to the end.
He has his opponent down on the ground, and St. George take out his surgical knife and finish the job.
They really couldn't want any easier than that, Dottin. That was a point for the taking.
Adrian is clad in full Puma gear, from shoulders right down to his feet.
Yeah.
One of his socks is Puma as well.
But he's the Puma man.
Oh, he dragged that one to the net.
Yeah,
3-all.
I think what's happening here with Scott, he's feeling the pressure.
Yes.
To the point where he's actually rushing some of the shots.
Yeah,
Those backhand shots, rather than sit on the ball and play the ball, he just found himself going through the ball a little too early, and that
What I'm saying
is
is this
opening opportunity
second
for St.
game
George.
is critical for both players.
Of course,
You know, St. George is at 1, and Adrian have to win this game to be still in the game.
that's right.
And I believe, yeah, we doing some analysis here on the game.
There's a guy by the name of Japal in Roadtennis.
Yeah, Japal, yeah.
You know, he's been around Roadtennis for some time.
Yeah, but he's kind of scared, you know. The puncher is still in tournaments, and Japal is scared of that, you know.
Well, I am surprised to hear that. The last time I saw you against him, I saw Japal actually
Let's get back to the
introducing
game.
you.
Let's get back to
I
the
know
game.
you really don't want to go that route at all. My
Yes.
memory is fairly good, but it's again a good fight by these two guys. Backhand exchange, St. George positioning well. Good position, good intention, but he closing is important. He set up the point well. He really should have closed well.
Like I said, you know, he's going for that very narrow part of the court. I think you need to go for the bigger part of the court.
Yeah, well again the same safe tennis. See, the ball is more center. Again, the same injection, the same drop shot that came out in the last game that was giving Scott some benefit. You see, he just dropped shot again and was able to get a quick point. So maybe Scott and his coach might need to really look at that being a key or stronger part of his game plan.
Right, but
Push St. George and drop shot.
Scott have a 6-point lead. It's 10-4. It's Adrian Scott's favor. But you think he's going to go down? As Scott win this game, you think St. George might be in trouble in terms of his fitness? Or you don't think that will really matter?
I don't think that's a 3-game for St. George. A man at St. George should really put him under that much pressure. I think he has 3 plus 3 more games.
Yeah,
St. George is he might look the age, but he's a very fit player. He plays lots and long games of tennis. So I don't think fitness is really a challenge here for St. George tonight.
I think muscle memory might assist him because he's been playing tennis for a very long time, and you know, he knows how to win.
7-5.
Now you see Scott with a variety of serves. Still focusing a lot on the backhand. Again, good ball control. He hit that one a little too late in his shot.
But the Scott I'm seeing tonight, I'm impressed with. He seems to be the true Adrian Scott. His spin is very good.
But both these guys playing a very safe game. Everything is in the middle, so they're not really creating much. I mean, they're playing safe tennis. Down the middle again. Everything in the middle. Waiting for the opponent to make the error. St. George again stepping around very good indeed. This is good movement in St. George. This is good by St. George. Good ball movement.
Beautiful.
That's good ball movement by St. George again.
St. George is really controlling his ball with his forward arm.
And I must tell you, St. George is a fight from behind type of player as well. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. So this score line will
I have
not
to rely
fail
on
St.
your vast knowledge. You know, I know you're a lawn tennis player, and you know, and now you're into road tennis because of the money, right?
Well, I'm into road tennis because I want to keep fit.
I was just trying to as practical way, right? But you know,
Same problem.
Now, watch this carefully. Watch carefully. St. George closing this gap. St. George is one of those players who do really well from behind. And Scott needs to maintain his lead. If not, he could be in trouble in the latter part of the game.
Gotta relieve, George. You're right. That'd be like, man. Back there.
9-14.
A good rally. St. George at least need 2 more of these points to stay and compete with this young man.
9-15.
I think, honestly, I think St. George is under pressure. He's under pressure now. He's spoiling because he's behind. He's too far behind now.
Yeah, actually, he's not sticking to his game plan because these last 2 shots that St. George played were more attacking shots. And if you realize, for the most part in his game, he really hasn't been attacking. He's been stroking the ball nicely and waiting until Scott makes the error. But those last 2 shots, try to rush and force the ball under no really pressure. He's actually creating pressure on himself right now.
But you know, John, both of us are tournament players. I know sometimes you might win the first game, when you turn, somehow you lost your rhythm, or somehow, you know, you lose your composure and you can't get that rhythm for the second game. I think St. George is in that mode.
Yeah, I think
whatever he's trying, it's not working.
It could also be an element of overconfidence.
He's in somewhere range. It's 18-9.
Get to our turn, George.
But as I told you,
7-10.
the nerves could be settling, and Scott could now be very well feeling even more comfortable now in the game. Which look at his movement now. He's moving his feet well. He's seeing comfortable in his short play.
The ball is away. 11-17-19.
Scott seemed to be struggling with his form though.
Okay.
For some reason, St. George keep focusing on his backhand, but he's spoiled some very easy forms tonight. I'm not sure if St. George and his camp picked that up, but Scott is making more errors on his form than he is on the backhand.
12-17-19.
I think we have a very large crowd on hand for this B class, and it shows that the B class is really taking up momentum.
Yes, we got a full house. I think the guys who put on this particular event should be commended on a job well done. It definitely is in need. Roadtennis need this type of competition, and the players need it as well, because it's actually a good development for B class players who want to be A.
Yes.
You know, and this is a good sign. It all started in Sauna, and all credit to Sauna for coming up with that initiative and that idea in terms of having a B class tournament. And maybe, who knows, 2018 we might see more of these tournaments being played, which would encourage that middle group of players, you know, to give them that chance.
And I don't think that this B class is something that is to be taken lightly, because the crowd is responding to it. We have a very good crowd on hand. We can do a little span here to show the crowd. Show the fans, the crowd that is here. Even behind the fence, we have people all behind the fence, all around. Yes.
27-16.
Yes, this is the second game.
Again,
It's 2016 and
2016.
2017. St. George is fighting back. I think last score I heard was 18-9, and now it's 2017.
Yeah, St. George is doing everything he can to
Game
get
goes
back.
to Adrian Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a game on our hands.
We have a very good finals. Both players are one up in games.
21-17.
And
I think what you were
I
saying.
think we're on. The finals is on. We have a good finals.
Yeah, but what
Not
you
a
were saying
one-sided
earlier,
finals.
in regards to maybe a little confidence after the first game. This third game, really, we can probably even see this one going right now to the tie. You can see this guy, because both these guys now, you would expect would up the game. They're 3 games now, 2 down, nerves out the way, all those kind of things that could stop this thing. I know they fight really on. They fight really on to see who has what it takes to get over the line. So I think this third game can be a very, very good third game. And if anyone gets an early lead, I think that would be the guy who really takes it home.
A very successful
Yes,
first one. Give a round of applause.
For some reason,
to
the other St. George did not get a lead in this second game. He was behind, he was trailing behind, and that put a lot of pressure on him.
But he dare not try that on the game 3 now, because should he continue, he saw what 2 brought, and he certainly won't want to find in game 3 to have such a big gap to try to close, because it certainly won't work. In the third game, his opponent will be even more confident
Okay, ladies and
that he can
gentlemen,
get
we're
home.
ready for the final.
But we have to face certain realities. I mean, St. George is
There will not
like
be another
60 years
game
old.
after this one.
You got Adrian Scott, you know, he's a young man.
Ricky Hall,
And, you know, I think age might be, age might have a lot to
along
play
with
here.
Adrian Scott.
This
And
is
Cecilia, ready for
the
game number
third
3.
and final game.
Ladies
And like you said, I
gentlemen,
agree with you, John, that the
switch
person who
gentlemen at the
gets
stroke
the lead
10.
in
Who
this
is 10 first?
game
Love, serving love.
might have the edge.
One serving love.
I noticed
Okay,
Adrian is
start with Scott.
sticking to the game plan, that back arm.
Yes, he's staying back arm with St. George, fighting back arm right through.
That's
That was it.
wild. That's a crazy horse.
Yeah, that's what we call the penalty.
yeah.
And he really, that was too easy to miss. He set up the point well. He should have closed.
Serving one.
That would very well be the point that he later part of the game wish he
Ball
had.
the ball,
Yes.
get ball.
You never know. It ended up 21-19.
That could be the point that he wish he
You ready,
had.
sir?
Yeah.
One serving one. Two serving one.
What I must say about Scott, he stuck to his serve throughout this whole game.
Three serving one. Three serving one.
Right through.
Send ball to
We enter the third game and Scott hasn't changed his serve at all. He served one serve continuously at St. George. You would like to believe that St. George by now would have been able to master that by now. You know,
Don't forget after we have
move the
some
ball back.
karaoke.
It's very effective. It seems to be working for Scott. He hasn't changed serve.
3-7-1.
Oh, he heard me, Dottin. He just
Yes.
changed his serve first serve 9 to the form.
One 7-4.
I think St. George is in trouble. I know it's a very early assessment of the game, but I think St. George is in trouble.
1-7-4.
Well, if you go on the body language of the guys,
Yeah.
Scott is bouncing and he looked ready and he looks as if he come here with a plan to leave as a champion and he's fighting tooth and nail. It's a good rally, good exchange, sharp balls, and then going back a little deeper. St. George staying with them, very good rally.
Like I said,
1-7-5.
St. George is 60 years old,
Yeah,
and that exchange there was a lot of balls, and that's going to take a toll on his body.
yes, I'm surprised. So I'm really surprised if that's really the case. I'm surprised if that's actually the case, because St. George plays a lot of tennis. And one would think that volume of tennis you're accustomed playing, two best in three should not really be in any way pressure tennis. But I have to give credit to Scott, who on the other hand is very much alive. He's bouncing, he's stroking, he's playing with a person with a determination. And that sometimes can be thing that separates you from your opponent.
But reading through the lines from your analysis and so on, you seem to be sweet on St. George. You seem to, you know,
Yeah, I think
St. George have the edge.
I think coming into the game, I would say that St. George brought something that should give him the edge. The question is if he can maintain how he got here. He needs to maintain that.
5-all.
He needs to maintain
5-all.
that.
It was 4-1. Now it's 5-all.
Game on
And
even
St.
keel.
George is back. But like you said, the body language of St. George to compare with Adrian Scott, St. George is breathing very deep. And
Maybe one of those days. But Scott, right now, look the more agile and more composed person.
Watch your language,
he
gentlemen.
might be a bit confident as well.
Yeah, but we have a good game here. 5-all, third game, balanced game. Still the same serve, good return by St. George. Again,
5-7-6.
Scott knows that he's going to form and got again the point. Something about this form on Scott.
6-all. 6-all.
Still seeing some tentative signs from St. George though. In some shots he still seems to be playing the ball tentatively.
Yeah.
And I think that
7-7.
that's
His
not
rhythm
good
might be a
form.
little off
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
His
yeah.
rhythm might be a little off tonight.
That's good tennis. That's good stroke there by St. George. See,
St. George can maintain that level of playing.
7-0.
He could be a very dangerous player.
Of course.
All the way.
Yes.
77.
St. George have the lead now.
St. George up one. I told that I can see this third game as it is unfolding. Very close indeed. I think you're going to see this all the way down to the bottom. But the guy who gets the jump, I think will be the guy who takes it home.
Right, you said that from the beginning.
Yeah. So
Oh my goodness. St. George made a fundamental mistake by serving out the ball at 9-7.
drop shot again.
Drop shot again, yeah.
The most effective shot tonight for Scott was that drop shot.
It's hard for 6-year-old legs to get into that net. You know, let's face reality. You know,
but he need.
St. George may look fit and he look agile and so on, but he's 60 years old.
Get the exchange again. Back to the beginning. And St. George moving the ball back to the beginning. It's a very good rally here. Good point, good fight by both gentlemen. This might probably be the rally of the whole tournament. Maybe the rally of the night. All over St. George.
Oh my goodness.
St. George bring the crowd to the feet on that one.
Oh,
the crowd comes to the feet on that one. That is a point. That was a big point for St. George.
Big point. Great exchange between these two.
Watch over here to bring up point number 10 for the crossover.
And the thing is that the fans here did not have to pay tonight to see this top class tennis.
Tennis is free?
It's free.
This tennis is free?
I would take my. I would pay $100.
Tennis free?
I would take $100 to pay for this tournament.
So Dottin, I can't believe it's free. I
know we have Raymond here. Raymond, did you pay Raymond?
No,
Raymond said he was willing to pay $200.
I was willing to pay that.
Yeah, yes. Raymond is sitting down here enjoying some good tennis.
Yeah.
And they switch now.
9.
10 serving 9.
What point difference?
Now we see Adrian and Lynchy, the two coaches of Mr. Scott, give him some advice.
Yes.
But like I said, Scott, look, you don't seem to be third.
No, but if we go on the way how the second game went, you realize that Scott was on this side of the court.
Oh, so you think the side might make a difference?
Who knows? Yes, Dottin.
You're coming up every angle, Mr.
Size makes a lot of difference.
Balls make a difference.
More comfortable.
Rackets make a difference.
Seeing the ball better from an angle on a particular part of the court, that matters. I know Scott is now in the same position he was in when he pulled off that second game.
The ball is away. The ball is away.
That was a critical point.
That was another big point.
Another
big point. But this is the end that Scott was more comfortable at. So let's see if that takes him over the line.
It's going to be well scored. We are on our A game tonight. 10 all.
Yes, this is a very good finals. 1 all in games and 10 all. You have to be very brave to call a winner of this tournament at this stage.
Yes, I think it would have been brave to could have called a winner from the beginning. Because you have a cadre of players where anyone could win.
10-7-11.
Yeah, you just saw some wildness coming out of Adrian. He had a penalty there and he let it ball all down by Thing Shot.
Well, you can tell that Adrian is not a footballer. Because you don't do that with the ball when it's so easy. At least you're going to keep it on the field.
Yeah, we know that, you, John, you the puncher. What would you have done with a ball like that, a penny like that?
Oh, I would have extended my racket and smiled to play a long tennis shot. And hit the ball down in the court with grace.
Yes.
10-7-11.
I love those high balls.
I like giving candy to a baby.
In my word, yes. So St. George now needs to dig really deep because he's playing on that side that he will he lost at,
Uh-huh.
and he needs now to stay on top of his game. He got a good 2-point lead. He need to at least make sure that he
Yeah,
can
I
change
believe
this
that's
to
it. Yeah, right.
a 14-11 turn up would be great.
Right. I think
No,
that would
he needs that.
give St. George some energy.
Yes,
But,
yes,
you know,
yes. He
but
needs that now.
It'd be like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Correct.
Ball out, man. Jesus.
Again, safe tennis. Safe tennis. Beautiful shot again. Safe tennis, St. George. Good exchange, good setup. All he required one more stroke, and he would have been home. Both these games.
Ball out.
Wow.
12
Wow, that was close.
12
We have a game on our hand, Dottin.
Yeah, game is
Score is tied.
12 13.
Again, this was the end that you saw St. George in that second game.
This is exciting.
Made one, two, those rush for him.
This is truly
Again, on the
defining.
pressure, he's feeling the pressure, and again, that shot again was a little forceful. And he didn't really need to go for all of that on the shot, but again, pressure.
Right. Because the thing is with St. George tonight, when he was spoiling, he was spoiling. He was spoiling 4 or 5 points.
Yeah, but I think what he's doing now, we are at a critical
12,
point.
7 to 13.
And he
Let's
did that in the
resume
second
game.
game too. There were 1 or 2 balls that he said he had to put something extra on it and spoil. That last shot was one of those.
Okay.
You know, he's trying to go more to, he actually over-compromising.
Okay.
You know,
12,
trying to
7
do
to
more
13.
than necessary. Now, Scott is in my view, in driver's seat. Because this is his end. And to stay close to St. George is going to be very important.
Wait, who's going on there?
Ball is good.
Now, these are
But something that's ridiculous. That is really ridiculous.
Oh, everybody see that ball, eh?
That ball out.
14, 7, 12. Players to court. Players to court. 14, 7. He said the ball is in. I saw the ball in. 14, 7, 12. Players to court.
Yeah, that's ridiculous though. Ridiculous.
I
I think that's a ridiculous score. I normally don't
This
like
is
that.
when I will have to press my recorder and look at that line again. But
Yeah.
Please
standing
mark the
here,
court, sir.
oh, that ball out.
Players
We
to
don't
court.
usually comment on
I don't really
Right,
get
right,
it.
yeah,
I leave that to
yeah,
I leave that
yeah,
to those in
officials,
the field,
yeah,
the
yeah.
officials. But it's
you
road
know,
tennis.
Yeah. I want St. George will be able to recover from that
Players
call.
to court, please.
Because usually when he gets a
14,
call
7,
that
12.
not in his favor,
I can tell you though that is going to be a serious thorn on his side now.
Let's go.
yeah.
St. George, it takes a certain kind of player and a person to recover. That is not St. George.
So,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
15.
And I can tell you now,
He's going to play with that point.
he's going to leave here at that point in his mind
mind, yeah.
to humanity weak.
Come on, George.
13, 7, 15.
Very good rally, very good
If
rally.
St. George will come out of this,
13, 7,
I will be
15.
surprised. If he can come out of this, I will be surprised. I don't think we get some very good rallies.
Ball is away.
Ball,
14, 7, 15.
ball.
I'm very honest. I think St.
Fighting.
George got 2 bad calls. You know? I'm very honest.
Well, yeah, well-
2 bad calls. And
We'll see.
You know, that's a
we'll
part of
see.
the game, but
Yeah,
it's-
it is.
15.
But I see the character now in St. George. If he's able,
15 all.
if he's able, he did well. He got himself right back in
he
the
got the
game.
bad, yeah.
He's in the game now, and he needs to stay in the game. That point has to be out of his mind.
15
Yeah.
all.
Everything going forward here now is only about focusing on these next 6 points and getting over the line.
I think what might be St. George's advantage is he's going to have the last serve. And he have to use that serve to get home.
He definitely, he needs to. Again, nice rally.
St. George being the first point and this
Taking
serve.
a good point, big point. It's always good to see the energy and excitement coming from Power Roach. He's now getting involved.
Yeah, he's getting ready.
So you can tell when the game has a level of tension and excitement going on. In comes Power Roach. St. George at least needs 3 of these points if he's to go ahead. I know that's a little nervy shot there. That's a nervy one. What we call unforced error. That was too easy a ball to be pushing in there.
15-17.
15-17.
The next point is a very critical point. If St. George win this point, he had the advantage for the serve.
He set himself up well to get at least, who knows, one of the last 2 serves. So this is a big point.
15-17.
This is a big point.
It's very tense here at Bashar. Very tense. No one.
Big point. Big point, and again,
I suspect that would happen. Once Adrian get those penalties for the whole night,
He'll be missing
and going to the net.
High balls. High balls, he shouldn't be missing those balls at this stage.
18-15 in St. George's favor.
Yes. Now St. George now could go for what we call the bonus.
15-7.
One of these 2.
Correct.
One
It's
of
a
these
bonus.
2 now.
You're correctly.
Is the bonus
very
point.
good. Correct. 19.
One of these 2 would be a bonus point. And remain in center court. Remain in center. St. George looking at, once again, you see he's trying to hop around, move around. He's looking like St. George with a purpose again. Good stepping, good ball control again, starting over. I think that St. George he's looking. I like that energy that I saw in that last point from St. George. I like that energy. I'm still looking for the bonus point. Bonus point is possible. I like the energy. Bonus point looking. Bonus point. St. George still fighting. Fighting. See that bonus point. Fighting. You see that energy.
Yes.
That last point. No. He got what he wanted.
Yeah. You know, I'm here commentating and doing that analysis, but I was lost for words during that point. But that was a very critical point.
That was a big point. That was a very big point too. Now St. George now positioned himself well to close this game now.
Yeah.
16.
He had the serve.
He got the serve.
And he had the advantage.
He has the serve.
And he had the lead.
All is important now is to serve this ball in the right places.
Yeah.
And stay focused and close.
It's not over. You can't think that the game is over.
Oh no.
After no play tennis.
Actually,
but Adrian is behind. He's going to fight like a wild animal.
But in Roadtennis is a 1916 jinx. Don't forget that.
Yes.
1916
but St. George
jinx
is well aware of that.
It's a 1916 jinx in Roadtennis.
Yeah, but St. George is well aware of that.
Let's see what happens. Beautiful shot.
Oh my goodness!
Beautiful shot.
The greatest, the greatest player out of St. George.
St. George has just put himself in a position
of
a championship if he wants it.
Set point and championship.
St. George has just, in a fashionable way,
yes, I think he's
positioned himself for match point. Serving to close. Serving to close. And
yes! St. George has won it!
St. George is
St. George is the champion!
St. George
my goodness!
is the last champion.
It's beautiful. You have recovered from those bad calls.
Yes,
this is very good.
This is a very good sign. Very good sign. And like I told you, if St. George was able to hold on, which he did, well done to St. George.
Well done.
Very well done.
I think this is going to goes all well for tennis.
I remember you were saying that I had a lean into St. George. No, you understand why? Because St. George has a very experienced player. So being here tonight at the finals means that he had to be playing good tennis.
I think you can get St. George to come over here and have a little talk with him. You want us to go over there or?
Well, sure. Let's see if he would.
Young boy, B-class, Roadtennis competition 2017. Over to Mr. Tito Ellis.
Set between them.
That was wonderful. After Jackson coming from 2 down, 2019, I can come and fight for 3 games because Jackson can't play 5 games. He's showing they can play 5 games. Let him down another game and throw a lot of Roadtennis now. He can't get dead.
I say, George, before you go, congratulations. You have won the big class. You played magnificent tennis tonight. What do you have to say about the set that just finished there?
Well, it was testing. I was nervous for since last week. That's no joke. I was keep studying who I got to play, what I got to do, and also if I got the condition to finish, and all sorts of things. But all I had to do is face myself, because he ain't really no attacker, and I can afford a lot of his backarm, but he dropped me short balls, so I had to count the backarm. But I can't get enough of their short balls. Correct is right.
I've been part of St. George. You had a hard call that disturbed you in a big way just now.
Yeah.
But coming out of that call, how were you able to recompose yourself to get home?
Very good question. Very good question.
My coach, Antoine told me, go and play power. Tell me, go and play. Don't worry, that's only 1 point. All I got is locking the form now. Can't attack me. I'll quit back inside the game. So as soon as I quit back inside the game, I had nothing else to worry about.
Now tell me as well about that last shot that you hit through the second last point. Second last you drive through here looking like the old St. George.
Yeah, but
what happened there for you? What happened?
I play down there all the time, but this is what happened, right? I get all now, so I ain't seeing the ball too well. Otherwise, I would have put 6 or 7 down with him. I'm that good.
Well done.
All right, so I was a little concerned about your fitness, but you seem to rally out that. You seem to get over your fitness. You're 60 years old now, and me and John, we were doing some analysis. I was saying you're a 6-year-old man, and if you have to play a third game, it's going to affect your. But you know that didn't happen tonight.
I played 16 games on Friday with a man named Fox. 16 and 4 upright and.
Force right.
No, upright. And a fellow named Sky Juice.
Sky Juice,
16 games, and I still feel like I was in St. Philip, that's my cap now.
Right.
So I could have gone with another 16 more, you know. But I tell you, man, I get rest.
What's the future now for St. George?
The future for St. George?
I mean, in terms of Roadtennis.
And Roadtennis?
Yeah, what's your next move?
Tell the airmen to look out, that I'm coming. Tell the airmen that St. George is coming!
Any names to mention?
Coming? Any name? Venom, Jackson, Curtis, the other one, the tall one, that's just again. Aaron. Then I want Lynchy. On this body, I don't want to see his Antonio Daniel. I don't know why something go wrong with him like this in the tournaments.
Thank you, St. George. Congratulations.
Antonio stopped me from in these tournaments.
Okay.
Yeah.
St. George has done his interview with the PSC and enjoyed it.
That's it. All right, that's it tonight, folks. We have witnessed a very good match, and that's it for tonight. Over now.
Congrats to St. George on a job well done. You also have to give credit to his opponent. I thought that Scott, he played a pretty good game. He fought well. But I think champions are made by closing the door. And he had opportunities that he might have missed in the game. And who knows? Another year, another time, we'll see more Scott as well. But well done to both players.
All right, thank you very much, John. And in the future, we're going to have to improve on our equipment.
Of course,
but
definitely.
Not on the analysts. We're the top analysts right now in Barbados when it comes to Roadtennis.
Okay.
But we have to improve on our
technology.
No
problem.
All right?
Please come forward. Troopers. We're going to have Adrian Taylor from the Barbies Gardens presenting the scene. This is the only player that